Good afternoon and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be using this paper pack. I've picked out the colours and the papers that I'm going to be using, and I'm using this photograph of my father. So I love this green, and I am actually doing a page from a page map that I printed out many years ago, so I was looking for a bit of inspiration. So I am using the green as a backdrop, and then I'm using this green and blue patterned one. So what I'm actually going to be doing is you will have a block colour paper on the left and a block colour paper on the right, and then I have two accent papers on each side as well. So I'm just cutting the accent paper for the red side and then getting the same size. So I'm using the red paper as kind of a template to cut the green one, and then I'm going to layer these on top of one another to form the basis of my page. The green, the small green and the red are a striped sort of paper. They have exactly the same pattern on them. So this photograph is a picture of my father with yet another one of his tools. I have quite a number of photographs of my father in our back garden with one or other of his tools, lawnmower, chainsaw. He always seemed to be pictured working with something. I'm going to take these two little pieces of white card, and these are going to be where I'm going to do some of my journaling. And I'm just going through the paper for any other little bits and embellishments that I might want to use. I used these cameras on last week's page and I absolutely love them, so I think I'm going to have to fussy cut a few more to go onto this page because they are just absolutely perfect. Camera's fantastic embellishment for most pages, especially as most pages have a photograph on them, so it works. I'm not really the sort of person that likes or finds it easy to put random things on a page, but I must say I should try that. And I'm trying to use up a few things that I have had in my kit for a while. So these little blackboards I had in, and I thought they would be perfect for my title and a little bit of journaling. And I also got out a flare button, and now I'm just going through some ephemera and trying to work out which little bits and pieces I want. This black card is perfect to tie this little title to the cards that I'm going to be using at the top. So I'm going to stick this down and then fussy cut around it just so that you have just that slight element of the black, just to sort of draw your eye and tie up with the other black on the page. If you throw in a few extra elements of a stark colour, it just makes it that little bit less stark on the page and does seem to tie it all nicely together. So I have decided that I want a little bit of this green paper as a matting on the page, so I am just cutting out. So I'm going to cut a little bit. Obviously I don't want to take too much away, just in case I decide that these two strips, the green and the red, are not going to go butt up against one another. So I wanted to hide, would like to hide the bit that I've gutted out there. So just popping that back where I had all of those pieces and thinking about what else I'm going to do. Quite like that piece, although it's slightly darker red than my kit. So I'm just laying a few things down and thinking about where I actually want them to go. So I have gotten out lots of different titles, lots of different words and things that I thought might be nice to use on these pages. I don't use a lot of rub-ons, but I have a few in my stash, so I thought I'd get out some of those as well. I have decided that I actually like this piece here. This I'm going to do a little bit of journaling on. So there is that bold space in the middle actually has lines on it for you to do some journaling. So I'm going to do my journaling, or some of my journaling, on that card. and just to tie it together, I'm put the camera on the top of it, but I've popped it on some foam dots so that it's raised and it adds a little bit more dimension. So I'm just filling in my journaling here on this card before I continue on with anything else. So the idea I was thinking was to use lots of different little titles and just random little sayings and words that sort of sum up what's happening in the photograph. It's just everyday life. So that is what I'm going to be using all of the stickers and the rub-ons. And so this little title and my cameras are going to go on this side, and pretty much that side is as I want it. So I'm happy to stick these down now and get this side of the page pretty much stuck down and tied together. So I decide I'm going to lift this photograph up. Just adding some dimension to it, and just in case I decide that I want to add a little bit more journaling, then I can always hide it behind the photograph. I haven't decided whether I don't think I want anything else on here, but you never know, might change my mind as I go along. So I've popped those titles down there, and I am just having a look to measure these pieces so that I get them straight and I don't have too much of a gap on one side. So I've positioned the pink piece or the red piece so that it is exactly where I want it to go, so that after I've put the glue down here, I can just butt this green piece directly to the pink, and I know that it's in the right place. So get that pink piece down there, and then the top piece. And so I've put that top piece in the green at the in the red at the top, and at the bottom on the left hand side, so they kind of a flipped image of each other. I want to put this button and take away some of the corners in those pages, because I think you've got the two shades of the pinky red and you've got that green piece as well, and I kind of just wanted to take away all of the sharpness of all of those corners in that one place there by popping the round button or flare button. So now I'm just putting words like real and genuine, and just words that sort of describe my father and what's going on. It is just, as I say, it's everyday sort of life going on really in the photograph here, and I thought it would be a really good way of using some of these rub-ons. This pack also has some words that are written in white, so I thought these ones actually would be quite nice in the title at the top. They're not what's the word, I suppose they're not going to come across as being really stark on the black. They just tone it down a little bit, but they just add a nice little touch. You can see them better being on the black than you could if they were on white cardstock or on a coloured cardstock, and they kind of give that chalkboard sort of element to the page here, which I quite like. It's just a different sort of technique, and I do quite like the way it looked. So I've decided to come in with another word or two here. So happy perfectly fitted across the card right the way across, which I quite liked. I thought that was quite good. My father was always a very happy, cheery person. So I'm just seeing if there's anything else that I can use in there and use that up a little bit better. So I think pretty much almost done there. I did find one more word that I could add down the bottom, and it just filled that card up quite nicely. So so I quite like that, how that turned out. I just realised there that I had to push the page up, that I was out of focus, or out of film on that one. I am just using a little bit of Mowed Lawn Distress ink here, just to colour this up, because I thought the white looked too stark. It also gives a little bit of a distressed feeling to the card there, and that sort of fits in really nicely with the rub-ons as well. So I'm looking here just for some random little sayings that I can pop on here, and just fill up this page and this little tag here, just with some random words and little phrases, and that go quite nicely together. Some I've put together to make little sentences, and just filling this up just to bring in a little bit more of that black, and just to add to the journaling on this page. So I'm just trying to fill this up and make it random, and here we go. So I think I'm just about done. Just sort of thinking maybe I can add another one on the left, but it wouldn't be a big word. And yeah, again, so that it's kind of, it gives that sort of chalkboard, or almost like a blackboard, or whatever you would find in a pub, perhaps. That sort of feel and that sort of look is what I was going for, really. So I'm just thinking about how else to finish off this page, if there's any other little words and things that I want to use. So there was a little tag there which I thought went perfectly, and I have found a title which says All Smiles. And this is a Dusty Attic chipboard title, and again I'm painting this up so that it's the white on the black again, and that really makes that pop when you stick it down. And my last item, as always, is my little cat. So I thought I might hide the cat up on the blackboard, where you can't see it, but you can still see it. So here's some snapshots to show you close up of the page. I hope you've enjoyed my page today, and I hope it's inspired you to get out and scrap. And I'll see you again next week. Bye.